Alright. New start, new project. Got my W2 here, got my 1095 here. It's wild to see the differences in the, you know, just the differences of the two steels. Like this has like a whiter sheen, this has like a grayer sheen. You know, I don't know if it's because they're from two different companies or that's how it goes or what it's about, but anyway, so here's my two patterns. I'm gonna cut one for the 1095 and one for the W2. As you can see here, I already got it. I did this on CAD and I laid out the holes. I'm gonna punch the holes and drill them before I even cut it out for jimping. Then on this one, I'm gonna set up the trim router and just do them like that. Now the third way to do jimping without a mill is with a Dremel. But I suck at a Dremel. I'll kind of try to give you a demonstration, but I'll tell you right now, my Dremel skills are not good at all because I did it for a while. You know, like you put it down, it'll skip, you know. You start, so, you know, I found other ways to do jimping just because, you know. And then there's the checker file, which a lot of people use the checker file, which, you know, I don't know, maybe I'll pull that out, but we'll see. Alright, let me get these cut out and glued up, and then we'll be back. So, I just went ahead and cut these out. You know, this is going to be the other pattern. You can tell I just drew this one out and then put it on Photoshop. That's one thing when you're using templates and stuff like this, you always want to save it somewhere. Draw it, you know, scan it into something. Always keep copies because as you're doing this and getting stuff wet, the template's gonna wipe right off and you're gonna lose everything. You can draw it, but you know, that's touch and go. Now see here, you gotta remember when you're gluing the template for drilling, if you're gonna drill the holes, you gotta make sure there's back, you know, there's enough on the back that the drill can go through because you don't want it slipping off. So always leave space. Now with this, let me show you something for this. If you can't do it on CAD, go ahead and get one of these. You know, so you can draw circles and stuff. One thing to remember is you don't want the hole deeper. So, you know, say this is the way your spine is coming up. You know, whatever you want to bring down, and you want your jimping here, you got to remember to break it. The irony. To break the hole deeper, because when you erase this, that's how deep your jimping's going to be. You know, like this. So the deeper it comes around, depends. So, you know, you got this that's coming out. If that makes sense. Like you can see on this, I put the holes halfway. So when this goes out, it'll just leave half jimping. And another thing you gotta remember is after heat treat and all that, you're gonna be grinding the spines down anyway. So you want them just a little bit deeper. If this is your line, you don't want them like way deep, like 3/4. I mean, maybe you do, if that's what you're looking for. You know, if you want to jimp that deep, some people like that look. But then you gotta remember, you're gonna be shaving some of this off. And then another thing I'll do is, here's my line. So you got one hole, like that. Then I'll put the edge of that hole here and start there. That way you know they're separated. Then go to the next one, and so on. That way you know in between and here are even, if that makes any sense. Then you go to the next one, you know, make one, leave one, make one, leave one. So you got one there, here's your edge. So you mark it here, go to the next, mark it, and there's your jimping. But you're going to want to make the whole circle if you're drilling them. If you're laying it out first and drilling it, because see, then you're going to want to put a punch in the middle, do them all, which I'll show you now. This is kind of just rough how we're doing it, but these come in great. And this was just like the 2-minute drawing, you know. I'd spend a lot more time if, you know, if I was doing other stuff. But, alright, let's get these glued up. I'll be back. And I made sure to mark each one on the back. This one, I laid out a little too close, but I think we'll be fine. You know, I'll just have to be careful when I round this edge. But now, we take our, you know, buy some transfer punches. They work great, you know. I usually, you know, when I'm doing a lot of stuff, I'll use the center punch or the centering drill bit or whatever, which works great, but sometimes you need these transfer punches. So now, see, I got plenty of room back here for drilling. So I'm just gonna go over my hole, center it up, make sure we're all centered up. Bam, put a middle hit. And you know, what I showed you with the circles here, this is what I did for CAD here. You can see the holes are exactly one hole between. So I put a hole, you know, and then I went back with the CAD program and then just erased the middle holes. That's why they're all evenly separate. And how far up and down you bring them depends on how deep the jimping's going to be, which is what I was trying to show you on that. So I hope that came across good. So, alright, most important part is getting these centered. Well, I guess the most important part is laying it out right, really. And if you hit it wrong, you know, I was watching Dave, and he talks about if you got the hole wrong, you can kind of move it over. If you just push the punch and hit it sideways a little bit, it'll move. You know, you can't do too much moving, but you know, just a little bit should be fine. It's important to get it down perfect first. This is why if you can afford a mill, even a little Harbor Freight mill for jimping, saves so much time and makes everything more precise. But hey, I understand, you know, I had to save up and build up to get what, you know, get what I got, so we all got to start somewhere. And it doesn't make sense to go out and buy expensive machinery if it's something you don't know you want to do. Alright, let's get over to the drill. Let's give this a whirl. I admit my jimping's a little rusty, so hopefully this works out. Well, I will say, at least they all look even. But, well, maybe this one's a little bit farther apart. But I think we can work it out. Yeah, see? And like I showed you, I always mark the steel. Well, at least for these, since we're using two different steels, we know which one is which. Alright, well there's how you do this. If I didn't say before, this is what I learned from Niels Vandenberg again. This is another one of his tips. That, and always chain your key to your drill. That way you don't lose it. Those are two great tips from Niels Vandenberg. Alright, let's go back and I'll set up the trim router. Alright, and the last is the trim router. The Harbor Freight, you know, you make a jig, you know, throw it out. I showed this in one of my other videos. But then what I did is I already cut here, right along the top, you know, grinded it down some, and then yeah, so see, now that's how it is. You got each one that's half, so then you just start up your router, one more to go and I broke it. So you gotta be careful, but there it is. Yeah, it feels good. Now see, it's big and all that, but when you bring it down, you know, when you sand it down, you know, you can come back and you wire it out and all that. See, this one has to go that way a little bit, this one has to go that way. You know, you can't really look at this way because you see the steel sitting up higher here. So that's when you put it on the grinder and bring it down, and it didn't break, it just spun out. That's good to know. Yeah, look, it didn't break, it just spun out. Let me put it back in and finish that last one. This part right here comes with the router. So, and there's another template that comes with the router. You just take that template, drill the holes, countersink them, and then attach it. And then that way you can just tighten and loosen this. And man, I'm so glad that didn't break. So that's what it was. That's the thing about these cheap routers and stuff. You know, they're just not as good as buying professional, but I don't use these routers as much now that I got a mill, so, you know, the cheap ones work for me. You know, that's one thing about cheap tools. It's not that they break or, you know, don't work as good. It's a lot of times there's like twice as much setup or something doesn't work as good, and you just have to end up fooling with it like twice as much. So that takes twice as much time. But if you don't use it that much, then it's not that big of a deal, but still a pain in the ass, right? Let's finish this up. See, that's one thing, you know, I can feel it giving. I'll do like one or two and it's fine, and then it starts to give. So, yeah, there you go. There's your jimping. And the third way, let me see if I can find a piece of steel and do it, because I'm not going to do it on a knife because I suck at Dremels. But I'll just show you that just to let you know how to do it. I'll be back. Yeah, here, just to show you. This is just a regular piece of 1/4 inch. I drilled the holes. You know, you can use this template, but there is another piece that comes with this that's plastic. I just took that and made the template. You know, then you take whatever, you know, I used a hole saw, and, you know, bimetal hole saw and got that out. Mounted it up, and it just slides right on in. See, just like that. $20 solution until you can afford better. Or spend $100 and get a really good router and do it. You know, just make sure it has variable speed. Because when it has variable speed, then you can kind of control how fast or how slow. But I've learned with end mills, the faster you go, the better. All right, let me get this put away. All right, the dreaded Dremel. Now you can use this small bit if you want thinner, like the disc, the sanding disc. If you want it real thin. Or you can use the same bits, as long as it fits. Now here's what I did. I went and I would mark 1/8 inch, 1/8 inch, skip 1/8 inch, mark 1/8 inch, skip 1/8 inch, mark 1/8 inch, skip 1/8 inch. See? Now this is just a piece of mild steel because I'm not ruining my blade because I knew how bad I suck at dremeling, so. But you'll see, it skips and it's just a pain in the ass. I mean, but if it's all you got, then that's what you gotta do. But try if you can to find something other than Dremel. But some people are really good with Dremel, so you know, if that's what you want to do, then you know, more power to you too. God, you just. Yeah, then you just, well, I guess I put it where I shouldn't have put it. So, hold it This is spinner, so you know, I'm not going by my marks with that. You know, or you can use a sanding drum, whatever, you know, anything that'll work for you. That'll fit. Just remember, these Dremels are dangerous. They're not a toy. So, yeah, so start. See how it's trying to pull out of my hand? See, that's what I'm talking about, how it jumps. So that's why I don't like Dremels, or, you know, even like you got to work for the air compressor and all that. For me, you know, I just never got good enough to use one. But you can do it that way, you know. It's all possible. Whatever you want to take to practice and train yourself to do, it'll work. Alright, I'm going to do the rest on the mill, because I got videos on, you know, how I do the DRO and all that, but, you know, I'm trying to keep this short. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, let's get these things cut out. Let's do this one. Let's do this one first. The one I drilled, see how that turns out. Not too bad. Ta-da! Yeah. All right. Alrighty, check that bad boy out. Now, it feels a little uncomfortable right here. So as I make it, that's one thing, when you're grinding it and shaping it, you kind of feel how it feels, you know, what it feels like in your hand. Right now, this right here feels off to me. So we'll probably have to shape that back up a little bit more. But the jimping feels real nice. There's our rock. Let me do one of these. I'll show you how that looks. And then, yeah, I don't think I'm going to show you the milling. I've got videos on milling and how I do the DRO, so it would just be all fast forward, and I got to concentrate on the DRO. And usually when I'm filming, you know, stuff like that I can mess up, so. Yeah, that feels good too. Yeah, so I'll probably put jimping right here on the back. What I usually do with my mill is I'll take my thumb and a marker, and I'll mark where I want the jimping and where it feels right, and I'll be like this, and I'll mill in between there. But you know, I've got plenty of videos on that, so I hope you learned something from watching this. I hope you liked everything you saw. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Comment, let me know what you think about all this, and let's get on with it. As always, take it easy.